the Sabre Show Live, where we control our own narratives and have the conversations that we need to have in order to empower our community. I'm your host, Sabre. This is my co-host, Yada. Hey. And this is our special guest, resident encyclopedia, the knower of most, the expert on most things,
no.
Cedric.
I just read books. I don't know things. I just read books.
You retain it though, like not many others.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll take that piece.
Very resourceful. Like my job is easier. I don't have to remember that much because I have Cedric. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all of our supporters. We have almost 600 subscribers. That's big. And make sure if you want to promote your business on our show, hit us up. Like, let us know. We can mention you. You know, we support Black businesses. Absolutely. Hit us up, email. I'm going to leave the email right here. There's been a lot going on in the news lately. Okay, for one, everybody knows about the Bill O'Reilly story. I'm gonna jump right into it. He was fired from Fox. People would look at that as like a mini triumph or whatever, a mini win, but at the end of the day, Bill O'Reilly still won. He got like $25 million.
And there's more going on with that story.
Yeah, because, okay, if you don't know why he got fired from sexual harassment allegations, which, you know, I believe are true.
Not allegations, if you pay out.
Right, because he settled for 5 different cases. Right.
You probably did.
5 different cases for $13 million he settled with, which is a drop in the bucket for Bill O'Reilly. Right. So he probably just like whatever.
Well, he didn't pay it. Fox News paid it.
Well, that's their boy.
Yeah, that's their boy. He didn't pay it.
Yeah, but like Tariq Nasheed always says, white supremacists don't get fired; they get transferred. So probably next year.
Well, not only them. Folks do the same thing. Well, not folks, but church clergy for Catholic church.
Oh yes.
Touch a little boy. Oh, we'll just give you some
you will be fired.
other position. You're just gonna be around children, you know. Right. It's fine if you touch little boys, you know. Okay.
Right. So he probably I feel like this time next year when it all blows over, we're not thinking about it anymore because you know our news attention span is very short. Absolutely. He's probably gonna get like a deal with some other station or some type of radio. You don't think?
No, he's done.
I don't think
he's done. Remember, Fox News only got rid of him not for the sexual harassment, is my thoughts. Mm-hmm. They're working on a big deal with a European agency to acquire another television station. Mm-hmm. Europeans are typically more progressive on issues like that. Yeah. So when they say, he's a racist and he's like touching women and doing all this kind of weird stuff, what's going on? Maybe we're not going to approve it, right?
But they didn't say anything when he was spewing out like racist
This
remarks.
was back then, but now that the Fox News is now trying to acquire that company, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now it looks a little bad, and Bill O'Reilly he's the one who said, Lamar Hill said, let's imagine you're a crack dealer, and let's not pretend you actually look like one. And Mark Lamar was like,
what? Right, no, he insulted Maxine Waters, the California rap, said she had a James Brown wig on. If a lot of them white men don't have terrible hair pieces.
He insults everybody. He's been doing it since he got on camera. And Ron Hernandez, his old boss, was no different.
Very early with his candor, and honestly, get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch him before, so I'm not gonna miss him. I think it's a good statement. I think it empowers some people to say if you let your voice be heard, something can happen. But at the end of the day, I don't think he suffered.
That's got a lot of money behind it, so it's kind of like
Bill O'Reilly's a drop in the bucket. The president said, I don't even wait, I just grab him by the pussy. I don't even wait for consent.
I'm so glad I don't even wait to say that. Everybody says try to sugarcoat and say grab him by the kitty,
That's not what he said.
Grab him by the pussy.
That's what he said. He either grab him by the pussy, I don't even wait for consent.
My question is, why don't Bill O'Reilly get Bill Cosby?
Well, easy.
Absolutely right. He needs to be Bill Cosby.
Well, here's the thing. Bill Cosby thing, I don't know how y'all feel about it. I mean, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this like flood of people came.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about.
Why are you in his room and you know who he is?
You know he's married.
What are you doing there?
You know, don't get dangerous waters to tread into, though. You know how that goes.
That is, you can't blame the victim.
Hey, don't put me in.
I don't
put myself in these situations.
But I'm saying, where did you come from? At the same time, he was trying to start his own news agency. Exactly. It was very, very strange. And all of a sudden, boom, all this stuff just came out at him.
I don't think that all of those allegations are true. I don't think half of those allegations with Bill Cosby.
Maybe 5 or 10, maybe not 50.
Exactly. I think that people are lining up for a check. However, what I'm saying is the outcome should have been the same. There have been allegations with both Bill Cosby, Bill O'Reilly, but Bill O'Reilly. True that. Justice on stolen land. That's KRS One.
That's not me said that. Don't expect justice on stolen land.
I'm just saying, have that same outrage, because a lot of times black people will fall for those same things. The media, with the media, fake outrage about certain things versus others.
Right.
So it's like we have to still keep things in perspective. Both of them are one and the same. If you want to crucify Bill Cosby, crucify Bill O'Reilly the same way.
Basically.
You know, because Bill O'Reilly gets to go out.
$25 million severance check.
$25 million, his respect, his dignity, his legacy.
You paid him, like, you know, like, hey, you did all these things.
You paid me $25 million. You could fire me 20 times.
How many people think are gonna kind of like purposely do things to get fired for that stuff?
For $25 million? I will spit in my boss's face for $25 million, whatever. Like that's a severance package. That's a golden parachute.
Okay. What's going on that you know of, Yada? What's going on in the media that you've discovered this week?
Well, there is a whole lot of hype behind the Aaron Hernandez suicide. And there's a lot of speculation. I can't say I'm a big, Aaron Hernandez fan.
Right. I didn't know who he was.
But the slander is so sad. It's just like at this point you have to kind of just let that man's family, like his daughter, let them be at peace. If there's the rumors like, oh, he left these 3 suicide notes, and one for his family, one for his daughter, and one for his gay lover. It's like, wow, now he went from being a murderer to having a gay lover in prison. It's like,
what did Aaron Hernandez do to get arrested? Because I
he had a couple murders.
Like he had 2 murders.
Like he had gang affiliated.
He's already gotten
he got acquitted for 1, and then the second one he's getting
2 bodies that he just got acquitted for. That he was just literally on trial for literally last week.
Because he was about to get off or something, wasn't he?
Well, he has an appeal coming. He had an appeal coming for a murder conviction that he already had, and he got life for.
And I think Massachusetts, that was where he put in his appeal. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So the speculation is that he was murdered. He did commit suicide. He had an appeal coming up. They're saying that he had a good chance. I don't know how good the chance was. There was talk of text messages that might have identified him as maybe being complicit with the murders, but not actually committing them. I'm not sure, but the appeal was coming up. People felt like, hey, he could get off, and I don't know. But he turns up dead, and there's like, well, how do you hang yourself from this? You can't do it. You can. But either way, then there's also like new light being shed on saying that, he lost a lot of money from his deal with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it was a $20 million contract. Or
exactly. I think it was 15, and he was supposed to be guaranteed to get whether he died the day after, he signed. And apparently, that deal was off the table once he got the convictions. So apparently they're saying that it would make sense for him to commit suicide because he has an appeal active, and in the state of Massachusetts, if you die during the appeal process, the original conviction gets overturned, which means that technically he didn't violate the contract.
His family still
get the money, right? So I mean, yes, it's like the timing. A lot of it's just not adding up.
Do y'all think it was foul play, or do you think he was really trying to leave something for his family? Or?
Honestly, I mean, I would not rule out.
No offense, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully,
some people.
It's just something I see a lot of people discussing.
It really is. It's a heavy topic. Like it's really floating around but you know how I stand on sports. Like I really don't. Well, because I don't really care too much about that right anyway.
It's more so about suicide because they even a judge.
They said Sandra Bland killed herself too, and that
too.
But that came off now.
What was the judge, the Supreme Court justice, who was where was she in Pennsylvania?
She wasn't a justice, but she was high up on the court.
Well, she was
and she was found dead in the Hudson River.
Right.
That's weird.
What black American?
First black Muslim federal judge, I think.
And you killed yourself
in the Hudson River.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this.
When do black women? First of all, the middle-aged black women are the least likely to commit suicide, and to die a painful death. It just doesn't make sense.
My whole thing is nothing is going to come from it. There's not really going to be an investigation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to get something that my president says or something else.
Well, it is because now they say that, the article's coming out saying that, they make the investigators think it's foul play.
Doesn't matter.
Right. Because I think like his attorney, his agent, a bunch of people are like, he would have never committed suicide.
Tamir Rice was 12 when they shot him within 2 seconds of the police arriving. What happened?
Right, that was a borderline drive-by, basically.
It was.
Darren Wilson shot down Mike Brown, even though video is about to come out through a documentary that shows that he actually didn't steal nothing.
Right.
Oh, and then the transcription of his like after the fact, they were talking to him and he was actually admitting like that he didn't, like a lot of the things.
Remember, he was allowed to go home and clean himself up without being escorted to follow the proper chain of custody. He did not. He went home. To do what first?
He admitted after the fact that a lot of the things that were said that
I think he got a book deal,
Brown
too.
did, like grabbing his gun and things like that, he's like later confessing that he didn't do it.
Well, because how can you get shot? Like, what kind of stupid nigga story is that? Like, he got shot and still was reaching for my gun. That's
My thing is, he's unarmed. Why would he charge you when you have a weapon drawn like that? None of that makes
What
sense.
black person charges the police like that?
Right, it's like, hey.
Well, in that particular,
especially that
when you're
wasn't
that far
drugs
away,
or
like,
PCB or something. Yeah,
but what happened from it?
nothing.
You
You're
can't
absolutely
expect
right.
justice on stolen land.
You're absolutely right.
Nothing is going to happen with this Hernandez case. In about a week, 2 weeks, check it, watch. It's just going to get...
Oh yeah, you're not even going to hear about it.
It's going to be under the fold, as they say with newspapers. It's going to be under the fold. It's not going to be headline news. They're not going to care. I guarantee something stupid in the news is going to happen. Kardashian's going to like slip and fall down the stairs. And you're going to see like a little cheek hanging out or something. They're going to be like all over that.
What's going on with North Korea?
The same thing that's been happening since 1910. It started in 1910.
Okay,
From 1910 to 1940 to 1945, the Japanese, the Imperial Japanese nation or emperor owned Korea.
Okay.
Right? The United States and the Soviet Union were trying to work out a deal on splitting the Korean lands. We're trying to unify, right? So they had a lot of wars, a lot of turbulent incidents that happened, and what ended up happening is that the Kim Il-sung was supported by the communist Stalin, right? And then I forget who the other side in South Korea was, but they were supported by the United States. When you have, and you already know, like the whole Cold War situation was communism versus capitalism.
Right.
And so we hated each other.
Right.
Now, when you look at where North Korea is at, it's right on the border of China.
Right.
So if the U.S. has that influence in South Korea, that's too much influence right on China's border. So they had to make a buffer.
Right.
So not only does China support North Korea and Russia or the Soviet Union support Korea, but we support South Korea. So the whole situation is stemming about from what happened in 1910, 1945, World War II era stuff, and Cold War era stuff. So it's nothing new.
Right.
The problem is Kim Jong-un is not unsettled. The dude is a baby in charge of nuclear weapons, living in a country that sees him as a god.
So him and Trump
If we
get
attack
along
him,
just fine. I don't
well,
understand
here's the
what the problem is.
thing. Those two personality types are they're gonna clash.
Okay,
But if
yeah.
we piss him off too much and he snaps, he's gonna attack South Korea and Japan.
Those are
What's that
allies.
gonna do, right? We're gonna back up South Korea, right? What's gonna happen? Russia backs who?
North Korea.
China backs who? Is that not a World War III scenario?
No,
Because it is.
It absolutely
That's
So
exactly what
that's
dragged
why
us into the First World War, and even the Second one is these pacts that we have with each other. We have to go to war when one nation is attacked. Like the MAD Treaty, are you aware of the MAD Treaty?
No.
It's the Mutually Assured Destruction Treaty that we had to sign with the Soviet Union
Wow.
that said our two nations cannot go to war because if we do, we're going to destroy everything. So we can't ever go to war. Even though we almost got there. You ever heard? Last thing I'll leave you with. There was an incident on a Russian sub where a U.S. destroyer was dropping depth charges, knocked out the communications, and we came this close to a nuclear incident because the officer and the captain of the sub wanted to launch the nukes, but one officer said no. We came this close. We've always been floating close to this line. So North Korea is another incident like this. The problem is that we won't see when it happens.
So what should we be worried about Trump being Trump when it comes to countries like North Korea?
Trump
right
is not
now.
truly the commander-in-chief. The military will do what the military wants to do, either via JSOC or its other affiliate branches. They're going to do what they want to do, right? That's just what's going to happen. Trump is a child. He doesn't know anything. They told the dude about a lot of strikes when he was having the most amazing piece of chocolate cake. You can't hold his attention. The dude thought that South Korea was part of China. He didn't know that they weren't part of China. Like the president of China had to tell him, hey, listen, man, like you're off, bro. Let me explain to you why North Korea is such a precarious state. Like he doesn't understand geopolitical trust
Because he spends most of the
relationships.
day on Twitter going on rants about
That's because he's not qualified.
So you should be
for this
concerned.
whatsoever.
You should be concerned. You can't do anything to stop
You
it,
should
but you
get-
should be prepared in the event that. Remember the earthquake we had in this region, where like the cell phones didn't
It was
work.
a few years
Right.
ago.
What if that happens again, and you don't have
Where's
any?
Ugh.
No, you need to have plans in place in order to
Yeah,
be able to take
right.
care of you and your family to get
Yes.
out of the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, is he going to start something? Maybe. Is the military going to start something? Maybe. We're floating on that line close again, but we won't know about these incidents where we come close to war.
Right.
Would Hillary have been any better?
Hillary
Be
would
honest.
not have been better. No, she would have been better
Because at least
for
she
this simple
had-
fact. At least she can pay attention.
Okay.
So she's competent militarily. She's a war hawk. So she's a Republican, but she's not. Donald Trump is he is a toddler.
It's crazy. Like how you can't be. I can't become a doctor without going to school.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't ever want to see
whatever. How can he be president? He has no idea what's going on. But
like, I don't ever want to see another job advertisement where it's like, oh, you have to have a master's. No, I don't.
Right.
Because the president doesn't even have to have a degree at all. No, I'm getting this job. Like he has the biggest job in this country, and
you have no idea what's going on.
Every week he goes down to Mar-a-Lago. Every week.
What is Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago is his Florida resort that he owns. So when the Secret Service stays there, who's paying for that? Who's paying for
us?
Look at what they're spending
Melania
on Trump Towers.
Yeah, Melania
Trump. You're cutting Pell Grants, and education.
Or even beyond that, Scott Pruitt is preparing for these massive cuts that he wants to do to the EPA. So he cut all these other important things that the EPA does, but guess what he did? He said, oh, I'm feeling threatened for my life, so I need more personal bodyguards. He already has protection. He wants additional protection because he don't feel safe.
But these people are really trying to get right.
Look what you're doing.
But the realistic thing is everyone's like, man, when is he going to get assassinated? I mean, Melania.
No, he has the best insurance policy ever.
No, they're talking about Trump, but have you seen this line of succession? Like, it just gets worse and worse.
Pence is worse.
He's the worst.
He's going to be far worse.
Everybody always talks about him being impeached or assassinated.
I want Donald Trump. I don't want Pence.
He's literally the lesser of like 8 evils in this whole line. Like, oh my God, no.
Well, they're smart. Remember, Bush did the same thing. Bush had Darth Cheney as his vice president. So if Bush would have died, we would have had Darth Cheney.
Yeah.
The dude that shot his friend in the face on a hunting accident.
Exactly.
Oh, no. The dude, we approached like a certain milestone. I think it was like 4,000 dead troops in Afghanistan and Iraq at that time. He said, well, they volunteered.
Sir!
You don't say that! That's why he's called Darth Cheney. It's not me saying it to be rude. No, that's what people call you because look at how you talk. You had 5 heart attacks. What?
Well, that's
Donald Trump had 5 draft deferments, so he didn't have to go to Vietnam. Ted Nugent, who was just in the White House with Kid Rock, Ted Nugent said that he literally shit his pants and let it stay for a week so he can get a mental exemption so he wouldn't have to go to the Vietnam War.
Doesn't Dick Cheney still have an LVAD? Like, did he get a heart or is he still?
No. That was He's still.
People, what did Rockefeller have? Like
6 heart transplants. His latest one at 99.
What do you get one? Like, can we get all one? Like, what is this?
That's because they're using black organs when people dying and people found.
It's like, just die already. What else are you waiting to see?
Look, if I'm worth billions of dollars, and you ain't worth nothing, and you from Brazil, I'm gonna get your organs. Or Chicago or Detroit, I'm gonna get your organs.
You're dried up and decrepit at this point. Will you just
It doesn't matter. I'm better than you.
What else are you going to experience?
Speaking of which, the Henrietta Lacks story is out right now on HBO. If you have the app, if you have the channel, go on HBO and watch the Henrietta Lacks story. Shout out to Oprah Winfrey. She was very instrumental in making that movie possible. So basically it's called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Right.
If you don't know who she is, Henrietta Lacks, they stole her cells. She was diagnosed with cervical cancer. And for fast forward, she ended up dying at 31 of cancer, but they used her tissues and cells, tissue samples and cells to cure many other diseases. She was found to have these
never gave her family anything.
Never gave her family anyway. Yeah, she was found to have these remarkable
self-regenerating cells.
Yeah, self-regenerating cells, right. And so basically they want to shed light on, organ trafficking that still happens to this day. Like, you can't tell me that when some of these bodies are found stuffed with newspapers. Yes. And then that's not the only one. That it's not something crazy going on. So we have to be aware. A lot of people think, oh, that's conspiracy, or oh, they're not doing that. They would never do
you got 64,000 missing girls. Honestly, it's
certain things are conspiracy, certain things are quantified.
Exactly. Right. See, that's why I have Cedric on the show. They say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in the right room.
Exactly.
I'm in the right room.
I need to say because
Look, I just realized, I told you, information is very heavy.
Without giving the woke vibe, though, it's just all facts about that, hey, stay woke.
Hotep, brother. Did you know the black woman is God? How's the black woman God? Well, you see, power to the people. No. They break it down by
red fish, little fish,
switching gears a little bit, what else has been going on that you've seen come across your social media / news?
Interestingly enough, okay, I was scrolling through my timeline. It basically said that trans women have like 90% less genital bacteria than biologically born women. So you men are running out of excuses for not dating trans women, and like Twitter went batshit.
That's not an excuse.
And I'm like, someone said, and it's like I keep seeing this where like you guys are transphobic. How can you not date a trans woman?
Just don't lie.
Understand that. We could talk semantics all day.
Yeah.
It's not a vagina, it's an inverted penis. Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
Not even just that, but don't lie. If you put on your profile that I'm trans,
but even if you're honest, if you're a trans woman and he's like, I don't date women who used to be men, like I really feel like you can't be offended. Like you were biologically born a man. They're calling them
SJW, social justice warriors?
Is that what they say?
Cisgender.
Was it? They were like, no, it was like CISHET. And I'm never like, am I cishet? Is this like?
It's too many damn letters for me to remember, but but first of all, you shouldn't lie anyway, or you just should keep it 100% honest because people they just.
But even if you're upfront, if a man doesn't want to date you because you're trans, that is absolutely his prerogative.
That's his right. That's his right.
I don't have to. Like it's my choice.
Like you can't give this man shit.
And that doesn't make you transphobic.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have a womb. You don't have female energy pulsing through you in the same way a natural female does. And I'm not hating on you. Do what you want to do, boo boo. There's somebody out there for you, possibly.
Right. It's just probably not. Yeah. Right. I'm just like at the end of the day, it's and I don't excuse my candor, and I have to be blunt. I'm just like, look, sweetie, like, yes, it's less bacteria. It's not
producing anything.
It's inverted. You basically like, and
I don't even know what the maintenance is on that.
Like, exactly. Like, what is that? Like, you're basically
not that I have anything against it. I really don't care.
It's like putting on a neck skin condom inside out. Like that's how I feel. Like basically him sleeping with you. That's what that is. That's not an actual. These are not lady parts. Like let's be real. It might be designed. It's lady parts.
It's GMO. It's like GMO.
Look, I respect if that is what you do. That's what you are. That's what you do.
That's your business.
We really don't care. We're not too particular on who does it and why, because that's really expected. But people have the right to not.
So that kind of like went into this whole like trans and gay agenda situation where it's like, nowadays it's kind of being shoved down your throat, and it's like, no one, okay, I get it. That's your lifestyle. At the end of the day, you live your life for you. I will never knock anybody's lifestyle they do because I don't have to sleep with you. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Certain time. Don't tell me you're born with it. That's number one.
Oh yes, I mean like in general, like whatever. Like if you get to this point, this is what you're doing. Cool. I'm not gonna knock your lifestyle choices, but it's like it's kind of being like shoved down your throat, where it's like you have to accept it. It's like I will, I can deal with it because that's your business, but everyone's not gonna accept everything that you do in your life, and that's reality. Like, and they don't have to. They don't have to deal with it.
Exactly.
Like you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. So I feel like forcing that is what's creating the problem. You just kind of just
I agree with you.
You don't have to make a big to do about it. It's like, I'm not all in my face, your face with my heterosexuality. I don't feel like that shit.
Yeah, like I'm so hetero, I know.
Yes.
We don't have heterosexual marches, pride marches, and stuff like that.
We could, but then we would be seen as like,
right, straight pride. Like we're not doing all that. Like
we're not doing that. It's mad extra.
My thing is like we don't. Just because someone doesn't want to date or have sex with a transgender person doesn't mean that they're transphobic.
Right.
Like,
phobia means fear. I don't have a fear of you.
What other types do you have that you discriminate against? Some people discriminate against, or that they prefer a taller woman or a shorter woman.
I like light skin girls, I like brown skin girls, whatever.
Exactly. So that's no different.
Even then, it's still different because you're still talking about a natural born female that can produce a child or that has estrogen.
Right. Say they want to have children.
She can, something like that. Like you still have certain energetical biochemical properties that are in natural born females and not in transgenders. You can artificially pump the chemicals in there all you want. It's not the same biochemically speaking as a natural born female.
But I do believe people are born that way though. I do think that some people are born.
It's not possible.
Let me say though, I think some people are born where they feel like, I feel like I'm a man, like, or I feel like I'm a woman.
That's gender identity.
Right,
but that's kind of where it stems from though. It's like that whole, I've never felt like, I'm a little girl, but I've always felt like a little boy situation.
Right,
and small kids, but they want to dress like little boys, want to act like little boys, and they get
and
I feel like it kind of segues segues into this whole, you know, I don't know if it's pre-op or post-op trans, you know, that's the thing, I don't know. Like, are you saying this is a post-op situation? Because, I mean, trans women, whether you had surgery, you know, reassignment surgery or not, you're still identifying as a woman. So it's like...
I have a problem with you liking what you like when you get to that certain age where you can make that educated decision. But here's the thing. When you have a phallus enters a vagina. That is the biochemical process of life creation, right? Yeah. That's just how it happens. When you are a child, you are a tabula rasa. You are a blank slate. You know nothing in that capacity but what's biochemically passed down to you from your genetic pool. Now here's the thing, DNA can carry instructions forward, right? Deoxyribonucleic acid is possible to carry instructions forward. How can you prove that? Look at dogs. When you bark or howl in front of a dog's face, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna howl. Why? Howl? That comes from wolves. That's an intrinsic trait that they can't turn off. It's just ingrained in them, right? These are traits that happen to happen. So in that capacity, sure, you can say that I have a predisposure to being more in touch with my own sexual organs on somebody else, right? But that's not, from a native perspective, biochemically possible. That only happens with deviance. There's nothing wrong with it. You do your thing. I'm a libertarian in that regard. Do what you want to do, but just understand that scientifically it is not possible to be born with that unless you're talking about instructions being encoded on DNA. But native DNA does not have that ability to be perversive in that manner.
That may be true, but I do think that some people are born with maybe a chemical imbalance. That's why you got like hermaphrodites and things like that. But kids, I don't think that kids personally know. I mean, kids think that they're Mickey Mouse or they think that they're Shrek or something like that. So I don't really think that that their minds are developed to know. But once you get older, you're like, well, I feel like, you know, whatever.
I've never been comfortable like this.
Yeah, and then you can really, you know, assess that and then, you know, do according. Of course, I don't think it's natural to be trans. It's not natural, but it's people's prerogative. Like, we do a lot of things that are
I think that one to other people by saying you men are running out of excuses.
Or misrepresenting the facts. I'm always for scientific literacy. When I say scientific, I mean Eastern Light and Western philosophy. I'm talking about that foundational level. So as long as you don't challenge that, like that's like saying if to me somebody says they were born gay, like that's no better than saying, okay, I believe in flat Earth over the globe Earth. Yeah. But I can prove to you how you're wrong. And it's okay, do what you want to do, just understand that it was your choice to make that decision based upon how you feel. Yeah. Right? But from a biochemical process, I'm talking about from your atoms, from your subatomic particles, from that quantum physics level, there's no such thing as being born gay. What happens is deviations or genetic mutations through mutagens. So remember, all people that before we're born, we start off as a female. Right, but because of a genetic mutation, we become a male. So sometimes there are little things that go haywire, but the natural process is supposed to go a certain way. That's evolutionary. That's proven in science.
Well, but so that's
but there are deviants and perversions.
Be born with
that's those deviants and perversions, but it's not the natural process.
It's not. It's a deviation from the natural. Okay.
Because the natural process is to produce, and obviously you can't produce, you know, like that. But
you can't produce like this.
Right. But to have it be called an excuse, like, oh, you men are running out of excuses not to date trans women.
That's a problem.
It's a legitimate hetero preference.
You don't call it an excuse, fine, it's an excuse. I don't want to date that. I'm sorry. Look, that's not my thing. I would like to have children, and even after that, I'd like to have a natural born female. I'm sorry. Do yourself
justice. And then, like, we could be cool, we could be friends, or whatever, but it's not going to be against you as a person.
Right, it's not a phobia. Just stop trying to strong arm these men. Like, that's not cool.
And be unapologetic about what your preference is. Be unapologetic about it. It's not that deep. I mean, you can't please everybody. You just can't.
I also saw some talk about that Netflix show.
Yes.
13 Reasons Why.
I watched it. Did you? You don't watch TV.
Yeah,
I watch Netflix. I'm more about documentaries. So I'm usually researching more.
I think it was based on
philosophy, but not those.
Something, but you know, like it really, like the outrage behind it, you know, kind of glorifying suicide or romanticizing it really is what
do you think about it?
Honestly, to a certain extent, I can see where people are coming from because it was very, like, it kind of stemmed around this whole, like, suicide can be your ultimate revenge situation.
Let me a little bit of backstory. It's just basically a show where a girl in high school committed suicide, and the 13 Reasons Why were the 13 people that she felt like contributed to her feeling like she should take her own life.
Which is fine. Even the suicide part is fine.
You know, which is fine.
If you're a consenting adult, do your thing.
Yes, I don't think she was in.
I don't know. Maybe she was in
college or high school.
No, it was college. I mean, it was high school. It was high school. So she had to be like
or was she of same mind?
Mental health.
it was a lot of depression. Like for example,
clinical depression or self-induced?
She went to
I think it was a lot.
More like life aspects. Like when she went, like a lot of things were happening to her.
Is that chronic sadness? Because there are two different things.
She went to a party and she got raped, and she went to a school counselor.
No. Her friend got raped and she was there. She didn't do anything about it, and she kind of witnessed it happen.
But her going to a school counselor and discussing with the counselor about the rape, and the counselor basically like saying like, look, you can't. Really, nothing's probably gonna happen. Like it's really, you know, you're wasting your time trying to
go to a school counselor. That's not gonna
I mean, she's a kid.
I couldn't tell you that, but it's all of these contributing factors.
Right. Or like there was a classmate who was being very mean to her, or put out a little note saying that she was, has sex with such and such. Did all these things that could mentally like break her down. But my boyfriend was saying like, that just looks like she's dealing with real life. I mean,
it's like yes and no, because you really don't get to determine somebody else's breaking point, to be honest.
Right.
But what it did was it did kind of take that angle where it's like they kind of made her suicide like this ultimate revenge. Like you guys have contributed to a lot of these ills I'm dealing with my life. Like this is how I'm gonna get back at you, and it kind of did romanticize it a little bit. So I can see where people are coming from.
To be honest, you make children read Romeo and Juliet. They committed suicide because their families didn't like each other. We romanticize some weird stuff in this culture.
Yeah.
I told you about where Valentine's Day came from. Lupercalia, beating the brakes off your women, and they liked it. But we still celebrate it, just in a perverted way. Diamonds, I talk about diamonds as well, how that's nothing but a brilliant marketing campaign. So now we tricked all these men to go out there and buy an intrinsically worthless rock to show their love to their women. It means nothing. Santa Claus, invented by Coca-Cola. The image of Santa Claus, invented by Coca-Cola. So I mean, it's just like, we follow some strange stuff, very strange traditions.
So when they're saying it's romanticizing suicide, but like you said, the Romeo and Juliet
you got a point,
was a very good point, because that's considered normal. That's considered law to like not law, but that's like in every single high school, like it's a mandatory reading.
Right. You're not gonna go through your education and not come across that at some point. So you got a point. Like absolutely.
But yeah, people were saying that. And what else were they saying about it?
I mean, just a lot of speculation from that aspect. Like people were just feeling like that the show went too far. Like they felt like they were a little too detailed, they were a little too graphic.
TV has no bounds. TV should have no bounds.
None at all.
But yeah, like surprisingly enough, like I think that just certain things. I guess I'm just gonna assume certain aspects of this is like that to fake outrage, and it's just that it maybe it hits close to home for certain,
I don't care, but it's the job of even Netflix, because Netflix has been moving very, very well into taking in shows that other people won't fund.
Oh yeah,
they brought Dave Chappelle back.
Yes.
They brought Dave Chappelle back when Comedy Central screwed him over. So what I'm saying is that TV in that capacity should have no barriers, because when you do it that way, you have no more fake politicians that do the fake pointing and staying together and strong together. No, it's real.
It's like I can get why people would say, but you know what it boils down to? It's just like people just really try to, they like to hide the reality from
and it's a reality, so bring it out. Let's talk about it.
It's realistic to that aspect of a lot of people's suicides probably transgress like that, but it's like at the end of the day, it's all about hiding reality from the kids, like censorship.
From the masses.
Exactly.
Well, that's been all for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We had a lot of fun doing this one. We had a lot of different topics for you. As always.
Yes.
So thank you again. Make sure you subscribe. Forward the show to a friend. They'll definitely love it, just like you do. Again, I'm your host, Sabri. My co-host, Yada. And Cedric. And we will see you next time. Y'all take care.